Hey, what's up, guys? So I just want to share some thoughts on something that's been on my mind quite a bit lately, that I feel is important to share and express my viewpoint, my opinion on this subject. Um, and it's something that um, people who are both in the New Age spirituality community and the Christian community talk about. And and I just want to share my perspective as a Latter Day Saint Christian, and that's the spiritual shift, like the big spiritual shift that's going on at during these times of this world, right? During these end times, these last days, um, and how I believe that we're about to enter a particularly big shift spiritually where people are going to have to see the truth, whether they choose to live in fear over the truth, or whether they choose to choose unconditional love and accepting the truth and living in the truth and really accepting the truth, you know. um, and what I mean by that is, within this particular year of 2026, especially entering the spring season now, I can just kind of feel it. I don't know if any of y'all even maybe even know what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. But if you know, like, you can just feel something that's shifting spiritually in this world. Like, I don't know. There's so many people in this world that are so stuck, so invested in the physical and just like the physical materialistic aspect of things, just the system, the matrix, almost as if we're all just like flesh puppets, just going about our lives, just like almost like spirituality. I've never understood that perspective of like all these people that act like or don't even believe spirituality even exists. Like they're gonna they're gonna like find things out the hard way, in this next month or so. Because like things are shifting, guys. Like things are changing. Like this is a spiritual warfare, and there's a lot of people at this particular time in the world in 2026, just entering the spring season, that are realizing that like the reality of this world, the reality of this life is actually spiritual warfare, you know, especially with the Epstein files coming out, and um, the things that, if you look into that enough, the things that you learn from that. I wouldn't recommend looking into that much. I would recommend looking into it just enough to where you realize the truth of what's going on in this world. That's what I would recommend. But I wouldn't recommend looking into the Epstein files a whole lot, just because it's very dark and it can easily like kind of dampen your spirits. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that's kind of like my whole point of this video, guys, is like the people that are so stuck and invested in the physical. Oh man, I feel sorry for them. They're gonna have a hard time the remainder of this year, because I can just sense a big spiritual shift coming, where this is like indeed the last of the last days leading up to the second coming of Christ. And that's the thing, is that things have to shift spiritually, over time in order for that to happen, in order to prepare us for that event. So that's the thing. That's something I've learned. And yeah, like you can just kind of, if you're spiritually awake, you can just kind of feel it in the air, you know? Like for example, there's been at least hints, right, that they're going to reveal information about aliens and UFOs, that whole phenomenon, you know, and there's a big spiritual aspect of that phenomenon, right? And we got Easter coming up. And you know, there's going to be a comet, like a particularly noticeable comet, that'll be coming by Earth's atmosphere. I think that's going to be on April 5th. So like all these things aren't coincidences. Like all these things are coming together for a reason. And I just kind of want to share, you know, make this video as a reminder to be aware and to kind of just buckle up spiritually, you know. It's, you know, we're going to reach a point soon. You know, I've learned that we're going to reach a point soon to where we're going to be backed up to the wall of faith. And, you know, we will absolutely have to choose whose side we're on. Are we on the Lord's side? Or are we just going to choose to basically follow the devil? You know, just be a sheep of the world, of the matrix, you know? Well, we're getting to that point like very, very soon now. And yeah, I just want to kind of spread awareness. I just want to share this message because I feel it's really important, and I feel that's something that's going on in the world. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch y'all in the next video.